Guys, in the past, I've done a full-on sundae bar, like buckets of ice cream and chocolate and caramel and like chocolate chips and M&Ms and like, but for the winners.
You have to earn it.
You gotta earn it. So remember, it's 2-1 right now. Accelerated 7 has the lead, but you guys have the easier chance this week because you're only turning in 3 homeworks. So 4-1-2, 4-2-1, and 4-2-2. Okay, that's it. Those 3 homeworks. So let's check 4-1-2. So if your Chromebook is loaded to where it needs to be, please like halfway shut it to get rid of that temptation. Should probably go ahead and plug in my loaner since somebody next period will probably need it as well. Questions on that one?
Have you even assigned the frozen yogurt?
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
Because even if I like assign it right now, I'll have to pause it to make it so you guys can't get to it.
And
So I'll just wait and click it in a
since
second.
I already accidentally turned these in, will I
Don't
have
turn
to
it back in.
turn
I mean, you can if you want, but I already put it in my grade book. Jeez, Miss Barton.
I'm sorry.
Addie? Can you what? Yeah, I can get you another extension cord.
You got it all hooked up, Mr. Hudson.
Just don't tell the fire marshal. Guys, I had to eat my words yesterday. That is figurative language too. When Nick decided to tell me that my YouTube channel is more popular than I thought, because I realized I say don't tell the fire marshal while I'm recording a video that will get uploaded to the internet. My most viewed video, anyone want to guess how many views it has?
5,000?
5.
I'm going to say 500.
Pick up Gabe says 5. That's what I would think, right? Like my videos only get viewed by people who are sick. My most viewed video has 3,000 views, and that freaks me out, kind of. Because I just post them just for like you guys, right? If you're absent or whatever. But that to say, reminder, everything's recorded. Everything's recorded. I'm not saying copy answers, but I am saying if your homework isn't done, you are putting in like no effort. Because guys, everything gets recorded. All these answers are going to end up in the YouTube video. The answers are also in Schoology. But remember, the point is to learn. If you're copying answers, you're shooting yourself in the foot before you run the race. Right? You don't want to, hold on, you don't want to get to a mastery assessment and realize, oh crap, I copied all these answers and I don't know what I'm doing. So please make sure you ask if you have questions. If this is not done because you couldn't do it, get help. Right? Like, come get help from me. Do not copy from other students. You can work with other students. That's different. If you copy from somebody else, that's plagiarism. Don't involve them. If you want to copy from anywhere, I guess go copy from me. But also remember, my work is also available, like my actual how I did things. Right? So with 412, here's my actual work. Now, I do occasionally make mistakes, so do not blindly follow this, because I do occasionally make mistakes, because I'm a human. Any questions on any of these before we move on to 421? Because really, if we got a lot of, like, if we got questions we need help with, we should really come to Math Lunch or AO or Extensions. Guys, I'll also tell you the secret of tomorrow when homework is due. Accelerated 7 is going to be playing Jenga. And a lot of times when we're playing Jenga, they forget to turn their homework in. So if you turn your homework in tomorrow, or if those 3 are done today, well, we haven't checked 422, so maybe we should wait. But if those 3 are all done, like turn them in once they're all done. I'll make sure to definitively remind you guys tomorrow, like you've got a good shot at winning this week. But you got to have your homework done. All right, 421. Because as my focus with them will be, let's play Jenga. And if they forget to turn their homework in, whatever. I kind of like getting things back to a tied point. Alex?
How many things do we have to get the reward?
You got to beat them. Like you have to have a higher percentage. So when I go through and grade, I essentially make like what's called a heat map. Computers can do this for you. That's why it's called a heat map. But like I go through and I see who has their homework turned in and who doesn't. And effectively, highlighting is bad. Right? So the more highlighter there is, the worse we did. So this is last week. We didn't do very well. And if you want to see a comparison of accelerated 7 from last week, still some highlighting, but not much. Right? So that's how they won last week. More of them turned their homework in. They had less missings. All right, any questions on 4, 2, 1? Those diamond problems get a tad tricky sometimes, so double check those. Jana?
When is like the competition gonna be over?
Winter break. Yeah.
Before or after?
Like at winter break. So like I don't know if I'll announce who won one when we get to, so if you guys tie it up this week, right, next week will be the tiebreaker, and then we'll have to see where we go from there, because then we do have one more week, right? Because we got this week, next week, and the following week, and that's it. Then we got Monday. We have that awkward Monday when we're doing like Winter Palooza. We're gonna do a winter showcase with our band, choir, and orchestra. They're all gonna get to perform for anyone who isn't in them, so that they can show off all the work they've put in. Choir, I know you got a concert next week. If you remind me, I will try to come. I heard it's at Kilburn High School, which is actually closer to my house than Phoenix. All right, any questions on 421? / I think some people just need to do it because I see a lot of people working on it. All right, get out 423.
423's out.
The only one I don't have done is 421.
Go ahead and with your partner, read the problem about Robert's hybrid car. But you'll notice the hole punch ended up in a bad spot. The hole punch of your paper, but it's okay because we have this table. So you guys notice that hole punch ended up in a bad spot. The table tells us what we need to know though. So the distance he traveled is actually 420 miles. So what's chopped off by the hole is 420, if you want to write it there. But it's also down in the table. Work with your partner to fill in the rest of this table. Okay, go ahead, work with your partner, fill in the rest of that table. You can use calculators if you need. And what if at the end of the table, we put a 1 gallon? Let's go ahead and add on to our table. Let's put a 1 gallon at the end to figure that out as well. Going for the calculator.
Is Desmos gonna be like a daily thing now?
No, chapter 4 just has a lot because Desmos is a good way to like get some solidification for proportional reasoning. Alex, can you help us figure out the first thing you filled in?
I think that June would love to.
You think what?
I think June would love
I mean, I'll put your card back in and go to the next card. Raphael, can you tell me the first thing you filled in?
The first thing I filled in was a distance. 0 equals 0.
Now, why did you know this is going to be 0? Well, we can multiply by 0.
But it doesn't.
You can't divide by 0.
You're right. We can't divide by 0. And this is about a car,
If
right? Robert's hybrid car, Raphael.
I found out the rest by if you divide 12, the 12 option, like 420 by 2, then it'd be 210. So that's 6. And then if you were to divide that in half, it'd be 105 for 3.
Oh,
Or
nice.
then you could also figure out 3 by dividing the 420 by 4.
Oh, yeah, we could have jumped from 12 to 3. You are right. So then, Ivan,
It goes by 35.
so say that differently.
So 3 times 35 is 105. Then 35.
So is what you're telling me is that here would go 35?
Yeah.
And guys, this problem's a few years old, but back when like hybrid cars were first coming out, what this tells you, and you might want to make this note on your paper, what that tells you, what is the 35? Miles. What is the 1? Gallon. And I know a lot of us like don't have cable these days, but you probably see commercials on YouTube and whatever else. Who's ever heard a car commercial say miles per gallon? Right? That's what everyone talks about is miles per gallon. This car, this hybrid, that is telling us 35 miles per gallon, which is pretty good. My car gets like 22. Miss Martin, what's yours get?
Like 28.
Yeah, so like 35 is pretty good. These days, you'll get like 40, 50, maybe even 60 miles per gallon because hybrid cars have gotten better. Yeah.
My car gets negative 2,000
I was
miles.
about to say, your car, I might have to call a police officer if Gabe's driving around here. Raphael?
I'm responsible.
I heard somebody got a cinnamon bun for getting one of the questions right.
I do have Fireballs. That is the only candy I have. Well, and Hershey's.
I'll take her.
But I think they just had like such a good thing. But no, not like I'm not just randomly doing that. There was something super special. I forget what was happening. Check it. So this was not on your paper. We do not have the space to put everything. But if we were to graph this, you might write this down again if you want to. The two things we said the other day: a proportional relationship needs. Miss. The 0, 0 point, boom, because if you use 0 gallons, you go 0 miles. And what's the other thing it will look like, Margot? It goes up the same each time, and how that looks is a straight line. It goes up the same every time. So guys, this is what proportional relationships graph to look like. Cough, cough, hint, hint. It's on your homework. Questions. We found 35 miles per, which actually, guys, we can see that on the graph. If we go to 1 gallon, not trying to drag that. That's going to make my video get real weird for a second.
Hi, person that's watching.
Well, whoever's watching probably just got a little dizzy because my video screen just moved, like what was getting recorded. I like that it looks like a candy cane, especially now that it's December. So if we go to 1 gallon, 1 gallon. Now, here's what kind of stinks though. Could you, from looking at the graph, I got some people distracted. Could you, from looking at the graph, say that's at 35? Probably not. So sometimes tables are better. Sometimes graphs are better, but this graph, especially because it's not on graph paper, right? It's like on blank paper. This graph's kind of hard to read. But it's got 0, 0, and it's a straight line. Yeah.
I would say the best thing is a table.
Yeah, use a table and a graph. Like on the homework. All right, so the next problem, we can do that through Desmos. So the yogurt shop problem, we're going to, now, like not yet. So we're going to jump on to 48 real quick. This is not on your paper. Then we'll do 49 is on your paper, so don't put it away yet. Then we'll do Desmos. Okay, we got 2 problems to do till Desmos. So Kenny's car, or sorry, not Kenny's car. Let's go ahead and read so we actually know what's going on. Jan, are you looking to read or what? You want to read Lexi's claim?
Lexi claims that she can send 14 text messages in 22 minutes. Her teammates Kenny and Esther are trying to predict how many text messages Lexi can send in a 55-minute learning period if she keeps going at the same rate.
So one of the reasons Phoenix doesn't have phones, or that you put phones in your lockers, is so at lunch you actually talk to each other, right? And like interact with each other. Lexi spends her whole lunch period texting.
All the schools.
They're all going towards that. Yeah, they're
Well,
getting.
I mean, I know that my KMS changed it too, so now it's not.
So if we have this table here, you don't even have to copy this onto your paper if you don't want to, but chat with your neighbor. How could we get to the point of figuring out 55 minutes? And then how could we solve the messages that she can send in 1 minute, which might be a little Sometimes numbers aren't super nice. Chat with each other for like a minute or two. How can we finish out this table? You could copy it onto your paper if you want. It's good practice. It's good examples. Messages and minutes. Messages and minutes. Well, I'm hearing people say things like factors and multiples. Good vocab coming out. We'll get this out of here. We'll erase this. Here we go, guys. It's 2 to 1.
Right there. Looky there.
I need the ice cream. Come on.
I don't know. We'll have 2 people fight for it.
I'll fight.
We've never tied before. Like, I've never had an exact tie. I've had close, but I've never had an exact tie between classes. If you ask 8th grade, I did this last year too. Like, this is a thing I do.
I will fight.
Who won last year?
They probably remember because we did a Sunday bar. Or no, that was 2 years ago. We did a Sunday bar when I was in my Perry classroom. I forget what we did last year. I think they might have done ice cream sandwiches and candy or something like that. Because ice cream sandwiches were like just kind of easier to do. June, what did you and Donovan talk about, or what did you think about?
So at first I thought, well, 14 and 7 are multiples of each other.
Yeah, they get along nice.
Yeah,
Why is that?
Because 7 times 2 is 14, but
And?
also 11 times 2 is 22. But, and then I was like, well, what gives us 55? And so I'm right there now.
So, do you know how 55 relates to 11?
Well, 11 times 5.
Yeah, so if we do times 5, and if that's what's happening to your minutes, that's what's happening to your messages. What's 7 times 5?
35.
35.
And then, would a minute be 30 seconds? No.
Now, it may not always be nice, but can anyone tell me how we could get from, like, I don't know, 55 to 1? Gabe? Yeah! Divide by 55! Well, 35 divided by 55
Decimal,
is
yeah.
not a great number, but,
It's not.
I mean, it's 35 divided by 55. 0.63636363. Okay, wait, hold on. What if instead then, I still want to use 1, but what if I decide, let's talk about 1 message instead of 1 minute? Can anyone tell me how I could get to 1 message? Well, what do you mean? I can't just like round, nah. Rounding makes things wrong, a lot of times at least. Margaret, you had raised a hand. So Margot said if I come from here, 35, to get to 1, what do we do? Divide by 35. So divide here by 35. This is a little bit better. 1.57.
It's better for minutes to be like, with like a decimal.
And what this tells us is it takes Lexi, because because this is Kenny's work about Lexi. It takes Lexi about a minute and a half to send a text message. Right?
What if it's like
Probably like an actual message, not LOL JKJK.
No.
Like an actual message. Alright. All of this to say, finding the one is often what we want to do. Let's solve this problem and then we can jump into Desmos. So this is on your paper. This is on your paper. I put this on your paper to try to be nice. Take a 2-minute head start. Take a 2-minute head start. We want to compute the unit rate here, which is the price per 1 pound. We are trying to figure out the price per 1 pound in each of these situations.
the things that like were on the paper, I just put it in my bullet point.
Nice. Okay. I would label that this is 4.2 point whatever we're doing. So there you go. Love it.
Wait, so we're trying to find out how much it would be for like one.
1 whole pound.
Imagine paying $4.20 just for a half pound of cheese.
Man, if it's fancy cheese.
Yeah, for nice cheese.
What if it's just your normal
And then someone's got to cut the cheese, right?
Hey! Don't cut the cheese.
I thought you said we're waiting until our work is done for the dead.
That's not even real. That's just me.
That's a
being
figurative
child.
language. Exactly.
No moss today? I might need to take volunteers on a couple of these because they get a little tricky. I'm still trying to give you 1 more minute. Oh, Lily. I figured it out. You're stuck on D. So if you have 5/6, can you do the same sort of thing you did in B? Wait, you just count? I think handheld calculators are easier than the computer calculators. Addie, what did you do in A to solve out for a pound of that cheese? How do we make a half a whole? Yeah, yeah, we could do that. You could do like the division, keep, change, flip. Or a couple people said just double, right? How do I turn a half pound into a whole pound? I can do times 2 to the weight. That'll get me half a pound. So I got to do times 2 to the money. So if I double both of these, what do I get? $8.40. Now, Lily had a really good idea for B. Lily, can you talk us through what you thought with B? Guys, listen to Lily's idea.
So if $1.50 is 2/3 pound of banana, divide 1.5 in half.
Why?
Because that would be 1/3.
So Lily, instead of trying to get right to a whole pound, Lily first is saying, I want to figure out a 1/3 pound. So to go from 2/3 to 1/3, we could divide by 2. And what's $1.50 divided by 2? 75 cents. And then either, what'd you say, Margot? So you could add, or you could multiply by 3, because how many thirds? We need 3/3. So now a whole pound, what's 75 cents times 3, or $1.50 plus 75? Either way, $2.25. And we could do that strategy for all of them. So 3/4. What would I start by doing here, Gabe?
You could divide 6 by 3.
Divide by 3, because I have 3/4. So if we divide by 3, I get that 1/4 would equal, what's 6 divided by 3? $2. And if a fourth is $2, multiply by 4 now, and I get 1 pound equals how much? $8 for that roast beef.
It's understandable because beef is like pretty
Indeed, we've been given 5/6. How do I get back to 1/6? How do I go from 5/6 to 1/6? Divide by 5, right? We're going to divide by 5. So 750, what is that? Divided by 5. 1 point, so 1/6 of a pound is $1.5. What do I do now to go from 1/6 to an entire pound? Lindy? Times it by 6 to both of them, right? I'm going to times 6 to get to a whole pound. Times 6 to my money. So 1 pound would equal, well, $6 plus another 6 times 50 cents. So I think $9. There we go. Hop into Desmos and let's go get some frozen yogurt.
Wait, actually,
Well, if you guys win the homework competition, maybe. Guys, I even have this idea in my head, like CD1025 does these things where they'll like bring the hot dog Wally's, like hot dog truck, like a food truck to your business. And I'm thinking about calling them up and being like, yo, would you bring a hot dog truck to my school and like give all my kids? And I think there's ice cream that comes too because they also have an ice cream truck. It's like, I got a bunch of cool ideas, but you got to win. You got to earn it. Yogurt shop should be there now. If it's not, refresh your page. Yogurt shop should be there now. For anyone playing along at home, now it's just going to be kind of awkward to like just listen while we work in Desmos. So I'll see if I can start recording again in a couple minutes. But I'm going to pause while I play some music.